Hey, what's up, everybody? We got a Wednesday day baseball for the 11th of August. We're going to run through this slate really, really quickly because it's kind of a small one. Bellman is going to take the morning to kind of relax a little bit and get back for the night slate and everything like that. So we're going to roll through this real quickly, talk about it, and then get on with our merry way. So hopefully everybody had a good night last night. Won some money playing DFS or just had fun in your personal life. A couple of quick announcements before we get into the actual plays. I just wanted to reiterate for people who are interested in being NFL customers, we did get the website updated. There is an NFL package up right now, only $99 for the full season. All 17 weeks plus the playoffs covered in that one. That is going to be on sale until the 20th of August. So you got 9 days to take advantage of the price only being $99. If you are interested in doing that, also as far as the weather today, we got the White Sox Twins game. Looks like really nice hitting weather, as is the Yankees Kansas City game. So we don't got a lot of ownership projections out at this point of the day, but we'll get back into that for the write up and everything like that. As far as pitching goes, it's not a pretty slate. So you can see on the cover of this one, you got LYNN taking on a Minnesota team that he's pretty familiar with. LYNN's a horse. For me, like, this is just plug and play him. I'm sure he will be insanely popular today, but he deserves to be. There isn't anybody else on the slate that you're going to want. He's a really good bet to be the highest scoring pitcher on the slate. That doesn't mean that's going to happen. There's obviously somebody else who could do better, but he's the lock for me at SP1. And then as far as SP2 goes, look, it's not pretty. Let's not pretend like it is. Sandy Alcantara is a guy that, had a really nice start to the year. He's struggled a lot more on the road, as you can see with his whip being half a run higher. Batting average allowed 70 points higher, ERA almost double, drafting points per game 7 points lower. Coming off of a rough one in Colorado, which happens. And then he has to go up against San Diego today. Yeah, they're not as good without Tatis, but this is a rough spot for him. So no interest in Singer, none in Sensatella. Ober, Garcia has been getting destroyed all year. And Weathers, who has just been awful over his past two starts, doesn't really offer any strikeout upside, even when he's pitching his best. So for me, it's hard not to just lock in the top two pitchers. It's relatively simple to make offenses today with 37 per offensive guy. Lynn is the priority, but for me, I'll just go Lynn Valdez. And if I'm trying to be different, I'll be different with bats today because I don't like any of the other pitchers enough to play them. Now, as far as offense goes in this one, obviously we're not going to be interested in the Twins, but the White Sox against Bailey Ober, I'm sure they will get a decent amount of popularity on the slate, specifically if you look at their outfield, where I think Luis Robert at 3,300 is like a lock, right? Especially in cash games, I'm sure he'll be wildly popular. Price hasn't risen yet. And then we got to view the rest of their lineup. Eloy Jimenez cooled down yesterday, but he's still very, very affordable. It'll be tough to get to Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu today as they're 5,700 and 6K collectively. I like both of them. Not sure I like either of them enough to actually play them in like an ideal lineup today, specifically because of their price tags. Next up, we're moving over to Colorado against Houston. Again, knowing that we're using Valdez, I'm not really interested in a not very good Colorado team to begin with. So we talk about the Houston side of things. A couple of guys in play right here specifically because of their price tags. Going to be Aledmys Diaz, 3,500. I think he's a very sound play. I have nothing against Altuve. I can't imagine I would actually prioritize him in my best lineup. And I have a little bit of a respect for Sensatella. He's not a good pitcher, but he's not quite as bad as we make him out to be in the DFS industry. So you got Carlos Correa is very affordable at 4,300. So I think you can play him with Diaz, without Diaz. And then in the outfield, Alvarez is the best play, but I do think Brantley and Tucker fall right into it's the best way to look at it, right into that realm of affordability at 4,200 and 3,500. Michael Brantley, just a true professional, goes out there every day and just kind of that cog in the machine type. 3,500, very affordable. I'm sure he'll be relatively popular today. I do think the Houston guys get a decent amount of love based on the matchup, being at home, and the guys who are cheap are going to be very, very affordable. Now, what I don't know yet, and I'll have to verify when ownership projections come out, is how popular Kansas City is going to be. Let's talk about this New York Yankees pitcher. They do a nice job in the write-up on DraftKings of talking about Garcia and just how terrible he's been this year. He was bad in his two professional appearances this year, or major league appearances. But at AAA, he's been getting smashed all season too. So I kind of like Kansas City. I am going to Kansas City's not very good, but they got good hitting weather today in Kansas City, and Garcia's been awful. So I will verify ownership percentages. I don't think they'll be insanely popular. I think Houston probably gets a little bit more attention, and definitely the White Sox, but I could be wrong on that. So I will verify later and double check on that one. But I do have some interest in Kansas City. We'll come back to New York in a second. Specifically, WHIT Merrifield, who is not having his best season. We talked about this for a while yesterday, but he's getting on base lately. When he's given the opportunity, he runs. He's very affordable at 3,800, so I'm very interested in WHIT Merrifield. Obviously, Perez is the best catcher on the board. It's just hard to prioritize him. You got Carlos Santana, not a great average hitter, bit of a slump right now. So this is one where I kind of like him if he's not unowned. But if Santana's chalk, maybe I'll just ride the fact he's been ice cold for a while and not play him here. So verify that one for the write-up. I like WHIT no matter what. Hunter Dozier, not having a great year, but also very, very affordable, 2,900. And he has been on a little bit of a hitting spree lately. So he makes a ton of sense in this one. You got some other hitters like Nicky Lopez you can play. He's not very good. And I think you get down to a Benintendi, who, again, not a great player, but he's a decent offensive player, and he's also very, very affordable. So the little stack of WHIT Merrifield, Benintendi, and Hunter Dozier makes a lot of sense. If you want to throw in Santana and Perez, I get that as well. As far as the Yankees against Brady Singer, look, I like the Yankees here. This is great hitting weather. I think the fact that they're kind of expensive makes them more difficult to afford. That should cut into their ownership a little bit, but I don't think you're necessarily going to sneak up on anybody with the Yankees. I just don't think they're going to be my priority today. I like the idea of them. I think they're in a good spot, but they're too expensive. I can't get down to any of the cheaper pitchers in my mind. So Luke Voit, 3,800. All right, I can roll with that, but I don't dislike the Yankees. I just don't think they're going to be my priority. I'm much more likely to get to the Kansas City side of things. And then it's the last game. We got Miami against San Diego. We got Ryan Weathers versus Sandy Alcantara. This is another one. I will double check with ownership later, but if you're telling me San Diego's kind of lower owned, which I think that might be, I'm a little bit interested as in a contrarian stack. Probably not the main place I would go because I respect Alcantara. But let's talk about the Miami side of things. I don't think that they're going to be overwhelming chalk because they have a lot of no names in their lineup. You can legit stack Miami all the way through against Ryan Weathers. You can play all their best players. You won't even break a sweat trying to do it. So that is a little bit interesting. It's going to be tough to play them, too, because their lineup probably won't be out, or there's a decent chance it won't be out before first pitch, which should cut into their ownership as well. Now, the flip side of this is I don't think Ryan Weathers is nearly as bad as he has been his last two outings. Again, though, that was against Arizona and Colorado. He got absolutely destroyed. Why couldn't he get destroyed again today? The Marlins are filled with a bunch of not very good, hitters. So that's another reason I don't think they get a ton of love with the late game and everything like that. You only have to beat out a couple of other teams. So I'm intrigued by the Miami stack. So I think ultimately the White Sox and Houston affordable pieces will be very popular. Michael Brantley, Luis Robert, et cetera, Ledmus Diaz. I do think Kansas City is my favorite of all the stacks. So how much I like them and where I play them will get a little bit thrown in due to ownership, and we can check numbers on that later. But no matter what, I like the Kansas City stack. Garcia has struggled all season at every level. So I think this is a good spot, good hitting weather today for the Kansas City Royals. That's what I got, guys. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.